this kind of takes me back to a point that I heard Stephen Fry discuss in an interview where the interviewer said to him, should he approach the pearly gates and he saw God, what would he say? And Stephen Fry replied, "Bone cancer in children, what's that about? How dare you create a world in which there is so much misery that it's not our fault? Why should I respect a capricious, mean-minded, stupid God who created a world that is so full of injustice and pain?" And on this point, I guess that really does bring us to the point at which you described there about if there was this idea about why would a God kind of allow that kind of suffering? And you've got some really interesting views, I know, on this.
Well, I must be honest, I'm not impressed with that kind of reaction, because he's leaving out how much good there is in the world and how much good he himself has taken out of the world. And he might have to thank God for that. My own position on this is that kind of question, in the end, when it's looked at a philosophical level, is unanswerable. We've all asked ourselves, surely a good and powerful God would, should, could, must, all this kind of stuff when we were students, and we never got a satisfactory answer. And as a mathematician, I'm interested in questions that don't have satisfactory answers, because in mathematics, they're usually the wrong question. And so it's the approach that I adopt is to, and it's a mathematical one, is to say, am I here asking the wrong question? Because let's see what the facts are. As we look at this world, we see a mixed picture. I often call it bombs and barbed wire and beauty. On the one hand, there's so much beauty. On the other hand, there are bombs and barbed wire. And any philosophy worthy of the name, any worldview that could be taken seriously, must face those two issues. Now, my question is, and it's a harder question in a sense than the first one, but I think it takes us further. And it is granted that that is so. We all have to accept that. Is there anywhere any evidence that there is a God who understands it and could help us to live with it? And you see, it's in the Christian message of the cross that I see a God who's not remained distant from human suffering, but has become part of it. And the resurrection then changes everything. Now, these are very deep issues and very deep questions, but I find that they are the kind of approach that gives people hope. And that is a very important thing.